Hello, I'd like to talk to you about the analysis of the 2016 National Republican primary and the United States general election between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Uh, First, I want to start with talking about why I picked this topic and why I picked this data. The 2016 presidential election was one of the most talked about and controversial election process that I've ever seen. During the primary, the media had a large part in advertising, if I may say, of certain candidates through the polling process. Also, I want to add that I don't have any ties to or bias to the Republican or Democratic parties. In my analysis, I took raw polling data from Politico.com to drive my analysis and to come to conclusion based on data alone. I chose the data. I chose to follow the National Republican primary due to it being the most advertised and, frankly, more entertaining to watch. I want to show you here my polling that I kept track of. I every week I would write down every poll that came out from Politico.com, and then I would take an average that's here in the orange of each sample size and poll for the top four candidates. And then in the green and red, this is the date that the primary took place. The popular vote size, popular vote size, or the election size, and the percentages. And the red is who won that primary. And then I would like to talk about the polling versus primary results, uh, polling and primary results. Here is a plot uh, of the polling and primary results, uh, and this is a stacked area plot, and this plot shows the generalization of voting percentages for each candidate. This shows that Donald Trump had the most votes from polling and primary results, in turn giving him enough delegates to win the National Republican primary. Uh, next, next, I'd like to discuss uh, the primary results versus the polling. Uh, these plots show that for each candidate, the polling versus the primary results, and by descending order of the candidate's highest percentage state for primary results. So it's based on the primary results. The trend line is, um, or the order of it, and then as we can see here that the results from this plot is a possible false nature of political polling. Uh, None of the candidates' average polling results are near the primary results. Granted, a possible source of error for this could be attributed to the average polling results that are only from the top four candidates, and it doesn't include the previous candidates that dropped out of the primary before each primary election. As so on this analysis, I cannot give a definitive conclusion of the polling versus primary results. Then moving to the general election, uh, I I want to show here the general election. They In the United States general election, Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump uh, has also been a talked about and controversial election that I've seen. It was entertaining, and to today there are still unsolved controversies in the election process. After the primary has taken place, the media from left to the right were talking about the results, or who Senator Bernie Sanders supporters were going to vote for. Uh, some Most of them were saying about one third of the Bernie Sanders voters would not vote for Hillary Clinton. So what I did was I subtracted 1/3 of the Bernie Sanders primary results from Hillary Clinton and then added them to Donald Trump just to give a generalization. Then coming over here, this is just the data copied. And then what I did is I took a percentage because I had to do percentage, not actual vote counts. So the percentages in this, what these plots are right here. So in doing that, I saw a challenge, and since I already was involved in tracking the primary results, I continued with the general election. I mapped the primary results, and then after the general election, I kept the data from each state during the election. Below, here are two plots. Here are two plots that primary results with 1/3 of Bernie Sanders primary votes subtracted from Hillary Clinton and added to Donald Trump, as I just mentioned. Then I used a best fit logarithmic function because it was the closest to the slope of the bar graphs. After seeing the best fit line on Hillary Clinton's graph, it was astounding to me. The lines are almost exactly the same. So the media coverage of this was indeed accurate. So then moving to Donald Trump, I wanted to see if 1/3 of Bernie Sanders supporters voted for Trump. So it turns out that those voters did not vote for Hillary Clinton, but not all voted for Donald Trump. And it is shown by the best fit logarithmic function that is plotted in this graph. It shows that the primary results were above, giving Donald Trump more votes from Bernie Sanders, but the general election was actually lower. And then, to conclude, the media plays a role in the election of polling voters to see which candidate they will vote for. Although the data doesn't show exactly how the polling was compared to actual results, it gives us an idea of how the media's polling doesn't always match the actual results. I can draw an almost definitive conclusion for the analysis of the general election and how 1/3 of Bernie Sanders supporters, in fact, did not vote for Hillary Clinton. But I can also add that 1/3 did not vote solely for Donald Trump. And that is my presentation. Thank you.